they had to come and get things started. When they couldn't get started, after 45 minutes, one of the boat never even reached the starting line.
Okay.
They
I
had to
guess
cancel it.
we're being recorded now, so we need to get.
Okay, all right. No more.
Karen, you're muted.
That better?
There you are.
There we go. I was listening, kind of listening to you and checking this and. Oh. Our agenda here, which is not too far. All right, I see John. I see Bob. Bob is are you Mr. iPad today, Bob?
That's correct.
All righty. I see 4 of us so far. I think that's enough. Allison, you're in charge today, right?
Yes, I guess so. Alice is not joining us tonight.
Yeah.
But I have one phone joining us now. That might be Dave.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, Dave, we can.
Yep,
Welcome.
the teacher let me out early for this.
All righty. Yep,
Oh, and you know, and incidentally for everybody else, I'm taking graduate history courses at WestCon, and there's a class on Monday nights. I sort of have to take it for the major, and no, I feel terrible. You know, I want to be in 2 places at once, but no, I told the teacher, and he said, nope, go to the Inland Wetlands Commission. So here I am.
There you go, a hall pass.
And make a little history.
Yeah. I'm very conflicted though.
Okay. All right. Well, Allison, your recording, it sounds like you've got everything ready to go.
We're all set.
All right. Well, let me then begin to convene the meeting here. Again, let's see. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 13th of September, 2021. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as the chair of the commission. With me also is Mr. Michael Newstat, who is the commission vice chairman, Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary, Dr. John Donovan, who is a regular member, and Mr. Dave Frankel, who is on the phone, who is also a regular member. So there are 5 of us. So all 5 will be voting members this evening. And also with us is Allison Kennedy, who is our recording secretary. Some of you might know Alice Dew, who is the Wetlands Enforcement Officer, is out of the office today, so she won't be joining us. Let's see, before we get going, I just want to make note so everyone that has seen it, I'll make a suggestion. Christine got an application several hours after this agenda was posted, you know, per the public, or per the requirements. So it's for 77 Obtuse Hill Road. So those are documents received after publication. What I would like to suggest is that we consider it when we get to the end of new business, because we got four things here to take a look at. So Bob as the secretary, and Michael and John, you guys help me remember to help me remember to have us deal with that when we get to the end of new business, please.
Will do.
All right, so let's see, roll call. Let's see, Alice is not with us this evening. I think I saw a note that there weren't any dramatic changes.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, what I didn't see if there had been any, I was kind of looking to see if there was any follow-up, you know, from the, you know, any inspections. You know, we have that inspection over on, gosh, what's the property over there at Federal Road, you know, from the storm last week. I didn't see anything, and I don't, somebody help me, was there an email? Alice sent a couple of them. Was there any email about that? Does anybody remember seeing anything, or anybody have any update if anything happened on that property?
The only email I remember was the one where there were a couple of issues mentioned, and Alice said she was going to go over there and make sure they were taken care of, but nothing after that. So we don't know the results.
Yeah, and I kind of saw that. That was like a week and a half ago. I said,
exactly.
I don't remember anything after 6 inches of rain with Ida, right? I don't remember anything.
Yeah, nothing else that I remember or saw.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember anything. So
I don't remember either.
I don't know how that property fared in the storm, so I can't remember.
I-
How Alice is out for a week or two, right?
Yes. I
No,
think she's
Alice
on
will be back in
vacation.
the office on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe you could make notes for us, Allison, because I know she'll read the minutes, that we're wondering if, gosh, what is the property? It's like, it's like 760 or 750 or
731, Sharon.
731.
31 Federal.
Michelle, who can help me out here? Who's coming to my rescue?
731 Federal Road.
Yeah, 731 Federal Road. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
I don't have them all memorized. Yeah, if she could just take a look at that. I don't know if, because we've got an inspector for that. I think I'm drawing a blank on that as well.
Cynthia Rabinowitz.
Cynthia Rabinowitz. So thank you again for is that my second lifeline?
You can have as many as you want.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I'm sure Cynthia's probably going to get to it, but if Alice could put that on her list of things to do, I would be very grateful. All right, I don't have anything else from the enforcement officer's report or site inspection reports. Anybody else see anything?
Haven't seen anything.
All right, thank you, John. All right, I don't know what that's quite something. Who's ever got that little logo there? All right, of the tree there. All right, okay, with that, so that's going to take us then to old business. We've got one item here. It's 45 Obtuse Rocks Road. So I do see Michelle here. Michelle, are you by yourself tonight?
I don't see Brendan yet, and it's just me.
Okay, so it's just you. Okay, so then Michelle McCauley, who's helped me out with 2 lifelines here already. So I was over at the town hall today and got some paper copies of all this stuff, Michelle.
Yeah, I left you paper copies.
You did, and I actually had an extra copy of everything, so I was very grateful for that.
Yeah, I told Christine, these are for Sharon if she comes in.
Well, it could be for anybody.
Well, I
doing
figured
so
it would be you.
yeah, well, again, I appreciate that very much. So again, oh, here it is. It's in my hand. That's where I can't find it. So has everybody got it? We're taking a look. I think a good place to start here, Michelle, but you tell me if there's a better place, would be to take a look at your letter from August the 30th.
Sure, we can take a look at that. So the letter was in response to Thomas Nelson's comments from Accord Engineering, and I kind of incorporated as well what we discussed at the last meeting in this letter. So it's kind of a mishmash of both.
Yeah, so I've kind of read that. I was taking a look at, I said the third bullet, the bituminous concrete curb has been provided on sheet 6. And then you go on to say, because we had talked about maybe another option for the applicant, which was rather than I'll call them bollards, or you had them as cement things.
Yeah.
That may
Like-
not be very scientific, but they were cement things.
They were like cement bollards.
Yeah, cement bollards. There you go. That,
Mhm.
he would say, well, maybe we don't do that. Maybe we do rocks,
Right,
big
so-
rocks here to keep the trucks off the driveway. So I have the plans here from August the 23rd. And I was looking at, it's on sheet 9, if everybody wants to take a look at it. I see it's section BB, that wetlands crossing
Yeah.
file.
Yep.
So I don't know if everybody's got that, or if, I don't know if you want to put it up or
You
something.
want me to put it up? I can.
Yeah, if you could, maybe.
Allison has to let me share.
Yeah, you're all set.
Okay.
She's responsible, Allison. She's a responsible participant.
She certainly is.
Certainly is.
All right, let's get to that sheet. So it's section BB.
Yeah, it's sheet 9. I think you got it.
Right there.
That's sheet
Yeah.
9. Okay. So I didn't see this one till I said, I looked at it real quick here for about, looked at it a little bit more in the last half an hour. So this is a little different than the profile from the earlier one. I see two things here that caught my eye. First, you've moved the rock wall closer to the driveway.
Right, we talked about that at the last meeting.
Yeah,
Instead of having the curb, you asked if I could move the wall up against the edge of the driveway. So I
Right.
got rid of the curb. I moved the wall closer to up against literally the edge of the driveway. So the wall is like 6 inches, acts as a curb. And then I have the boulders placed. I think we discussed 6 feet, space 6 feet along the wall. So
Right.
this represents that change that we had discussed at the last meeting.
and it looks like to accommodate the rocks, because I was thinking about this since our last meeting, rocks have a tendency to go down, right? Down towards the center of the earth. That's just what they do, right?
Right.
It looks like you've had to increase the foundation from, or that poured foundation, the original one that you were looking at was like 24 inches and this one's 36.
Correct, that's correct.
See, I think I left it the same, Sharon, but let me double check.
Well, I don't know if you can see me, but this is the original one, the old one.
Okay, so maybe I increased it a foot.
That's what it looks like to me.
1 second.
It looks like you moved it closer and had to increase the foundation to 36 inches.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. So it was 24 and I made it 36. So I made it a little wider.
Okay.
But I moved it closer by a couple of feet. So,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's what I also
and
saw.
the part of that 36 is under the driveway where before the 24 was all in the wetlands.
Yeah.
So it all shifted much, a couple of feet closer to the driveway and away from the wetland.
Okay, because at first, when I first looked at it, because now I'm gonna, okay, so that's when I first looked at it, I said 36, how does that work? And then I saw this. So, all right, let me ask you a question. There's another sheet here. The one previous to that, you also submitted a new sheet.
What one?
6.
Yeah, the detail sheet. Yep.
Yeah, can we just, because that talks about this rubble stone masonry wall.
Wait 1 second. Let me see. One
Yeah,
second.
one earlier.
Yep, right here.
So I don't understand how that, because that rock wall looks like it's 2 feet tall. And the one you were showing on the cut B/B is only what, 6 or 7 inches-ish?
Well, it's 6 or 7 inches above the driveway, the full height of the wall, because the driveway is up elevated a little bit and the grade cuts down. So the full height of the wall will be about between 12 and 24 inches from finished grade up to the driveway.
Okay, so you were saying on this sheet, on this profile that we're looking at, the driveway profile is not on it.
We'll see here. I'm back at the sheet, Sharon. Let me
Yeah.
just go back to the
Yeah,
profile.
on BB, yeah.
So the 6 inches is on the right side where the driveway is, and then the 2 feet is on the downside of the wall. So the exposed on the opposite side of the driveway on the wetland side will be 2 feet, and then on the driveway side will be 6 inches.
Okay, so, but that is true on sheet 6.
Right.
The driveway profile is not shown.
Correct. Well, it's the full height of the wall from finished grade will be 12 to 2 feet exposed on the outside, and it will be 2 feet on the inside. It'll just half of that, most of that will be buried under the ground on the uphill side.
So does that mean that the frogs that are coming off the driveway through the rocks have to leap down 2 feet?
Yes.
Huh.
I don't, you have to look, it, might be closer to a foot, which is, I have to look, let me scroll up for a second. Wrong way, sorry. So the top of my wall, so it's like a foot on this side here, it's a foot, a little over a foot. And on this side, it's a little under a foot. So it's between 1.15 feet to 0.95 feet. So it's not really, it's never going to be over 2 feet or even a foot and a half.
Could you do something with the rocks to sort of create steps for the frogs? I'm not being facetious as long as it's an issue.
I can, it's just, I know we were trying to limit the disturbance to the wetlands, so.
Yeah. But if frogs are an issue, then, maybe there's a way that we can allow them to leap a lesser distance.
Is this approximately 1 foot height of the driveway above the ground here only in this area where the wall is, or is it throughout the entire driveway?
Just where the wall is.
So there's parts of the driveway where there isn't this height.
Yeah, so at the end of the wall here, you're back to at grade. So there's a 400 contour here. And then the 400 ties back into original grade, and it's original grade here. And then you have this is the rain garden, and you're at 396 here, and an existing grade is 396 here. So it's almost level back to grade. You keep going down, there's a slope, but it slopes down here back to existing grade. It's just where the wall is. The wall is, the point of the wall is to prevent further disturbance into the wetland. That's why we have the wall. Because I could grade it out, but if I grade it out, that's just more disturbance into the wetland in that little area.
But you're not blocking, let's assume that 2 feet is a block that a frog can't leap. You're not blocking the entire driveway, just this section of it.
Right.
And
if a frog can't leap, there's got to be something wrong with the frog, right?
Yeah.
Don't frogs leap
Well,
pretty
maybe,
high?
do you think the frog would be smart enough to go to a level, sort of follow the wall to a level piece of land?
I don't know the mindset of a frog.
Neither do I.
I don't know.
Now,
Neither do I.
But I know frogs jump pretty high, right? So
Yeah,
I
would think
don't
you're
know.
right. Where now is the tunnel, the open access under the driveway here someplace?
There's one right here,
Okay.
Michael.
So that's what I thought. So there's actually passage for not only water, but livestock.
Yes, correct. So you have one here, and then there's one further up the driveway. But we're no walls. There's free access for the amphibians to get in, and then you have another crossing here.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to derail us. I was mostly using that as an example. I think probably the little critters can probably leap down, and they probably can't, they might not be able to leap up, but there's plenty of places for them to get,
Around.
and go right and get around. But it was it certainly was a rather graphic example.
Yeah, that was more of just to show you a bigger size of that detail. I just wanted to show you what it, everything, what it looks like, a little bit larger view of it than the section BB. So,
Okay.
but it's similar.
Okay.
Michelle, the question comes up, going back a moment to the discussion about increasing the width of the base of that wall from 24 to 36 inches. You did say you've moved the entire wall closer to the driveway. So if I were to ask the wetland side of the base of the wall, the foundation of the wall, is not any further into the wetlands than it was in the previous iteration?
No, and it's still further away than what it was.
Okay. So you have not increased the amount of wetlands here?
No, not at all.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. So the only thing the one thing that we did get, or we were very keen on for this, for this part is that, everybody, you and us, we all get this right. So that, several decades from now, when we're all off playing golf and the Brookfield Inland Wetlands this year, they don't have to be faced with a challenge of, okay, well, this didn't work and now we need to go further in the wetlands. And that was one of the reasons that we were interested in, I said, in a stamped drawing, that this is going to work.
Right, which is,
Did you get a chance to
you
think
have the
about that?
stamp.
In fact, I didn't see that, and maybe I missed it.
Well, the drawings are stamped, that you picked up. They're signed and sealed by Dynas on the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay, but last time it was, didn't he tell us too that this is gonna work? Didn't we get something from him that said these are gonna work?
Yeah, in the letter, I wrote, I had said it will work in the letter. I did, oh, the letter before the last letter.
The letter before the last letter,
Yes.
yeah. The letter, that's what I was looking for, Michelle, like I said, because for me, that's terribly important. I want to get this right, like I said, so that no.
That letter was dated, just if you give me a second, I have it all, it's a lot of stuff to go through.
Well, I think we need it related to this, because you've got a slightly different foundation, and now you got, however, 15 tons of rocks on this.
Okay, the July 22nd letter is the one I had written.
Yeah, and
Well,
that one
it's the
refers to
same concept, Sharon. I just moved it closer to the driveway.
Well, I know you did, and I'm very grateful for that. But I
Mhm.
said the only difference now is we got 15 tons of rock. 5 rocks, 3 tons, right? Or is it 3 rocks and 3 tons? 9 rocks or 5? Is it 3 rocks or 4?
We're gonna have a bunch because you wanted them spaced 6 feet apart, so there's gonna be about 9 rocks.
Yeah, so 9 times whatever. What were you saying? 2 tons, 3 tons. So now we got 18 tons of rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Spaced, not all in one place, obviously, but placed along it. So I said, I want to be sure that we get something from, from the PE that says this is going to work, and they're not ever going to have to go into the wetlands again because this is going to work. We have it on the other one, but I don't have it here. Other than that, I'm satisfied with this. And I will tell you, I'm satisfied with everything else that you gave us, over the last 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's missing.
Okay.
That's the only thing that, from me anyways, but I want to leave it to Michael and, John and Dave and Bob.
What I would ask is, who we're asking to give us this letter that you're looking for, Sharon. The rock sitting on top of the stone wall. Michelle, have you discussed this, or any of your people discussed this with a mason or an expert in building stone walls? That this is a feasible alternative, that a rock of that size can be supported on its masonry wall?
Well, I've talked to the contractor who's done similar things like this, and didn't seem to be an issue. It's not, I've seen it's.
If I can step in here, I'm the contractor, and I've done a lot of these.
Sir, can we just get your name and address, please?
Yeah,
Brendan.
Brendan Southard, 93 Blueberry Hill Road in Bridgewater, Connecticut.
Okay.
And this is something I spoke to the commission about on the last meeting, and
Yep.
I explained we were going to put rocks instead of ballards, which created more of digging down into the ground and everything else. So we proposed to put these boulders and incorporate them into a wall, which was pre-existing that on the original plans that we submitted. So there really is no it's no different. It's just incorporated into a wall rather than, ballards coming out of the wall.
It's kind of like an extension of, so you kind of just like you have pillars. You just have, you see a lot of walls that have the pillars and go up and down. And this is the similar design. It's just, you're going to use one rock instead of multiple rocks that you're mortaring together. So it's not a,
It's
total
incorporated
weight
in the
will
wall.
probably be similar if you did it as stacked stones instead of one boulder. It's sort of probably similar. It's a similar design if you saw a wall with the stone pillars down it.
I don't want to go way off the track here and come up with lots of different ideas, but just one question. If instead of the single large boulder, if you were just to build out of smaller rocks and or masonry pillars out of rocks, would that be to the same height and width as you're showing the boulder? Would that be something that would be A, possible, B, maybe even easier than finding these giant boulders? Or is
Well,
that a silly
I would
idea?
say what we're trying to accomplish is to prevent anything or anybody driving over the edge of the wall and
Exactly.
potentially causing damage to the wetlands. And, so, this is what I do. This is something I've done my whole life, was masonry. And the structural integrity of a rock, as opposed to, piling up smaller rocks, they could just, it's almost like something they could just knock over and drive over, so that's
Agreed.
why it is easier to, pile up smaller rocks without a doubt, but I don't think it's going to protect the wetlands to the extreme of the boulders that I'm proposing to put into place.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Excuse me, the boulders that you're talking about, that's poured concrete, is that correct? Yeah, I see them.
No, these are actually natural boulders, which are rock, and they're going to be set into the wall. And I have access to every size and shape rock you could possibly imagine.
Okay, because this, I read it, when I read it, it says mortared into the top of the proposed rubble. So I just.
Yeah,
assumed-
on the top, we're going to mortar it in, just like you would conventionally on a wall.
Okay.
Just to
All right.
give it some stability, so you don't have all the voids and everything else, so it locks it in, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Right. Okay.
I know, and I'm trying to accommodate every way possible for the commission, and it just seems like this is getting dragged through the mud so far. I'd like to see closure on this, if at all possible, tonight. I think I've done everything I possibly can. My engineer has done everything I possibly can to satisfy this commission, and I would hope that we can come to a conclusion to say that we've done everything that you've asked us to do, and move forward towards a approval of the stipulations that were asked of me.
Hey, Michelle, can you take a look at the sheet 3, the 823 version, sheet 3?
One second.
Yeah.
Sheet.
Yeah,
This.
it's sheet 3, the
Yep,
one that
this
shows
one,
the
yep.
green plan. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you, I said, because if we go down in the famous, where the driveway is, and the famous wetlands flag 78 to 77, can you, right where wetlands flag 77 is, the driveway, what's the distance going to be from the driveway to the lot line? Pretty much right where your mouse is.
Oh, from the driveway to the lot line.
Yeah, what's that distance?
Once I have to just open the plan. Hold on one second. It's about 15 feet, Sharon.
So from the, no, sorry, okay. From the edge of the driveway?
Oh, the edge of the driveway.
The
I'm
edge of the
sorry.
driveway, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it wasn't maybe as
So it's
clear.
probably about 7 feet. So to move the driveway closer, I have to get some grading in there, and I won't have room really to grade back in the driveway, which would create another wall.
Okay. Look, I have to tell you, I am okay with the rocks I am okay with the storm chamber description that, and the changes that you've made there. I am, now I understand, that the rubble wall, masonry wall is just a profile. It doesn't have the driveway in it. That perplexed me for a while. And I'm very appreciative that you moved the wall closer to the driveway. The only thing that I don't have is a PE saying, that stone wall is going to work. That's the only thing I don't have. That should work. That's the only thing I don't have.
Well, by Dinus stamping the plans and signing them, he's asserting that the design is going to work. That, he wouldn't stamp or sign something if it wasn't going to work. I can give you a letter.
That's what I'm interested.
What are his
That's
credentials,
what I'm interested in.
incidentally?
Just one second, Dave. 1 second, Dave, and then we'll go right to you. That's what I'm interested in, that, that this is going to be a success and there should be no reason to encroach further on the wetlands. That's what I'm interested in.
So can we wrap everything up tonight? And that's just, I sent you I can't do, Dinus is on vacation until next Monday, but I can get the letter to you Monday, and that's the last thing you need. And everything has been satisfied.
Yeah, I think we could do some, well, let me ask before I answer. Yes, so let me answer that. Then I want to go back to Dave. I think the answer is, yeah, I think we can do that. It would begin no construction, no construction can begin until we get that.
Right, but as soon as you get the letter,
but,
we're all good. And just Dinus is a professional engineer. He went to, college for engineering.
He's a terrific guy, but I said, I think it's a matter of, I want to make sure that it's very clear, like I said, what the standard is. It's not that it's just going to work. It's just, it's good. I mean, that it's stamped with that understanding that, because that's terribly important to me. I have seen road after road after road. I don't know. I'll tell you my story of the Sawmill River Parkway. Anybody been on that recently?
What?
I've been on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
What
see
would
what
you
they've
like
done
to
to the
say about-
southbound lane on the Sawmill River Parkway? If you've been on the Sawmill River Parkway, that southbound lane has been ripped up for 6 months. It was put in with engineers. They took it all out and they have been pounding in about every 6 feet wooden pilings. They dug out the roadway and they put in wooden pilings there, and now they are putting process over that, and over the top of that, now they're going to put the surface of the road. So everything that the great engineers, and I take nothing from them, I don't know if that was their design point when that road was put in, however many decades ago that was. But that's what I'm interested in. I want to make sure that's the design point, and Dinus says this is going to work, because I said I don't want this to come up with a wetlands commission. I'm repeating myself here. I do appreciate that, 20 years from now. I want to make sure it is going to work and it's going to be that. And if I can get that letter, I am satisfied. So that's what I'm going to say. So let me leave it open to my colleagues, and we'll start with Dave.
What you're talking about with the Sawmill River Parkway, I want to say that the road's probably at least 80 years old.
Older.
And things sort of go.
Oh, I'm sure.
It would be
I'm
interesting
sure.
to know why they're doing whatever they're doing. But going back to the matter at hand, it sounds good intuitively, but I think having a licensed professional signing off on it would be good. So I'm in agreement with you, Sharon, basically on it.
I just want to make
However,
sure. Thank you, Dave.
that doesn't mean, 50, 75 years from now, there might be a problem. There still could be. Things age. Although I think if you're using boulders, that's pretty durable.
Well, Dinus is a certified, PE.
He is,
So
and we're not taking that from him. I think my interest is that it's very clear to him what the standard is, that this is going to work, and there shouldn't be any reason to encroach in the wetlands in the decades to come. That's all I'm asking for.
Do you in some kind of a time length that
we had that on the other design.
Sharon, would you want him to put
Dave.
in an estimated time that it would work?
Well, I don't think Dynas can sign off, on a time, there's so many different parameters that could,
Yeah, nothing,
he can,
nothing
I can
exists forever,
Yeah.
right, you never know. Someone could drive over it or someone could hit it and it could deteriorate the wall. You
Oh, yeah.
can't foresee the
Yeah,
future, and you can't hold Dynas, can't hold his license liable for something, that happens.
Even
20 years from now.
I mean, even if you had if a tree fell on it, or you had something, there's so many variables to that.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, I think if you're
I'm not-
using boulders, they're pretty durable, multi-ton boulders. So even if a tree did fall on it, probably not much of anything would happen. If a car crashed into the wall, once again, we're talking about multi-ton boulders, it would do a lot more damage to the car and the occupants than it would to the wall.
I understand, but Dynas won't sign a letter like that, putting a time frame on the longevity of a wall. That's not,
driveway.
I don't think a timeline, I don't think a time is necessary. I think
Not a
definitely
thoroughfare, it's a
appreciate that.
driveway.
right. It's a residential driveway to a single house.
Sounds fine to me.
I'm comfortable, quite frankly, I'm not against another letter. I would have been comfortable with the fact that he has signed off on the plans as presented, but I do have a question. I don't see, is his signature on these plans that were produced most recently or just on the original plans?
The digital ones don't have a signature, but the ones that I submit to Christine, to the town hall, every time I submit plans, they are signed and sealed by Dynas.
So he will have signed it. Frankly, I would be comfortable with that. Not against your proposal to have him do an extra letter on that subject, but I'm comfortable the way it is.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
And
We could put it up for a vote with the stipulation about the additional document signature.
Sharon, if you're very strong on wanting a letter, I don't think that's a problem for them, Michelle said.
Nope.
And I would be willing to just say, okay, and they can submit the letter and start work.
Sounds good to me too.
Just,
I don't see a problem with that either.
And this wall adjusts the permanent line of disturbance there, Michelle?
Um,
Relocation?
it pulled it a little closer towards the driveway, out of the wetland. Just like I said, I moved everything, the wall, everything got closer to the driveway. By moving, because I got rid of the curb. There was a space between the curb. It was the curb, some lawn, and then the wall. So I got rid of all that and just moved that wall right up against the driveway.
So show me again the permanent line of disturbance right around 76 and 78. Is it that dotted line?
It's that heavy dotted line. It honestly, Sharon, at the end, once this wall is in, the limit of disturbance will be at the bottom of the wall. It'll be almost, this line will come in towards the wall. Especially with the boulders, because you're never going to be able to get down, it's a foot or two down, and no one's going to go down there. So the wetland will go to the edge of the wall.
And the construction sequence says you guys don't have to be tramping through the wetlands more than that permanent line of disturbance.
I don't remember because it's been such a long time since I looked at this. I added all the notes that you had asked for and the stipulations.
Well, we could probably put something like that into the acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I said, I'm still interested in a letter from Dynas, if something along the lines of, this, this design will work and there should be no reason to, go past the permanent line of disturbance. In the future.
Okay.
I'm still interested in that. Now, I'll go along with my colleagues here that, we can probably put together a motion to accept all of these updated documents, with the fact you guys will give that to us within 2 weeks.
Let's do it.
You want to try it, John?
Yep.
Go
No, I'm
ahead.
not gonna, no, I'm not gonna, I have got the paperwork here.
Michael, you want me to try, or would you like to?
Yeah.
take a
Yeah,
shot?
Sharon,
you
why
go
don't
ahead.
you do it?
Why don't you do it, Sharon, because you know what you want.
You sort of know what you want. We're all in agreement with you, so.
Can I just ask one question before you, with the letter, do we need to come back, or is that give you the letter Christine
think we need-
circulates it to you?
If the letter is everything that we expect it to be, I don't see any reason for you to come back.
Okay,
We'll see it on the agenda and we'll just accept it.
and then
I-
once.
I would
you-
suggest that the motion includes a statement that says, once the letter is given to us, construction can start.
Yeah, because that's what kind of,
Well,
we don't-
do you
we
think we
don't-
should wait until everybody sees the letter and it's amenable to everybody on the commission?
so that's
I-
another 2 weeks out of having to
I-
wait to
Yeah,
start
I
work.
know.
Yeah,
I
I
would-
just want,
I would be
sorry,
against
but
it.
I think we extended the 35 days and we're trying to do everything that we can. And I really want to get this project moving. I mean, is there any way that we can make, approve this conditional on, or something on a letter?
I
This is
would
just
agree
dragging
with-
out.
Yeah, let us just discuss it among the committee, and I think that's what I would like to see would be.
See, the problem is something could be in the letter that we're not comfortable with. You don't know until you actually get the letter. So, and I understand you want to get this thing started. We're moving into fall and then winter and so on. So, no, I understand that. But if there was something that was not good in the letter in terms of the content afterwards, and you had already started working, that could be a real problem.
He's not changing anything.
It's not going to change the design or anything.
No, I know. And I'm not saying that to be an obstructionist or anything else.
All of you, it's all of Sharon seems to be looking for is, an additional level of security, saying that we're not going to encroach anymore on the disturbance line, and that this design is going to work. But I mean, as we just said previously, this plan is stamped by a certified engineer stating that what he designed will work.
It doesn't
And
say
if you're,
that. It doesn't say that.
well, then what am I paying an engineer for?
Well, you'll have to talk to him about that. But
Yes,
it's-
you would have to talk to an engineer
Yeah.
about that. Your engineer, yes.
Okay.
So
See, you know what the problem is with this? If we get the letter and something isn't right in the letter, then what happens?
Well, we can do a stop work.
We're
We can do a
making,
stop work. We can do that. We can do a
We're-
stop work. We can put it
we
on.
could.
Hang on, Just one second, you guys. Here's an idea. Here's an idea, and then we'll talk about other ideas. We can get the letter should not be a problem. Like I said, we got it for the other plan. We should be able to get it for this one. So if you guys are keen to get going in the next 2 weeks, I said, if you want to take the risk, of this, this letter not being everything that everybody thinks it's going to be, then we would just issue a stop work. That's what we can do. We can issue a notice of violation that we didn't get what we wanted, and we can issue a cease and desist.
I might,
That's a possibility.
I might
I think that's rather remote, because I think again, we got it on the other plan. I have every reason to believe that we're gonna be able to get something from Dynas that says this is the standard that it was engineered to. So,
I think what we're going to do now is I hear it is Sharon, you're going to make a motion that says we're accepting all the changes made. They can go ahead with their construction as long as they first hand us a letter that says, and you're going to indicate in the motion what you want the letter to say.
yeah,
And
I
if it
just-
says that, then we're fine. If it doesn't say what's in the motion, that's a different
Can I-
problem.
Can I interrupt for a second?
yep,
So in the letter that we had written back in July, July 22nd, I had said that based on the layout of the proposed driveway in section BB, it is Artel Engineering LLC's opinion that as long as the driveway is constructed and installed per the approved plans, the driveway's wetland crossing shall succeed and shall not require future remediation that will encroach into the adjacent wetlands.
right.
That's
The
what I
only
want.
thing that has changed since that letter is that we moved the wall closer to the driveway.
Right, and you put rocks instead of bollards. So there's two changes, and if we get that letter for this plan, I'm satisfied.
Okay, so if I just basically copy and paste that into another letter, you're good.
Yep,
A letter dated after this particular plan. And I'm
Yeah,
more than
dated.
happy with that.
Right,
Right.
dated tomorrow. Dynas can't sign it until he comes back from vacation on
Of
Monday,
course.
but
right. That's all I want.
okay.
Will that allow me to start? Well, Dynas is coming back on Monday, you said, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. I could start after Monday, Sharon, just
Yep.
so we're all on the same page. It's fine.
Yeah, I said, if we get it, I mean, if there is some hangup, you're gonna take a risk. The applicant.
No, I'll-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand
I
that,
would,
right?
I would rather just come talk to Alice and make sure that everything is good before if
Yeah.
Dynas is back on Monday, I'll just confirm everything on Monday or Tuesday with Alice that everything is okay.
Yeah, I mean, from a
You,
practical standpoint.
you just don't want to start working on,
Dave, 1 second. Yeah, I mean, there's a practical standpoint to this, as well. Because you got to get the silt fence up, in a number of places before you start anything.
Yeah, I have plenty to do, Sharon. It's no big deal.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, Dave, but I wanted to get that point across. I'm sorry, Dave. Let me.
yeah, you do whatever you can that doesn't require this letter. But it might be worse, if you started working and then you got a cease and desist for some reason. You're going to have to weigh that. But there are things you can do. You can put up the silk fence, and a signed letter doesn't really involve that particularly. So, yeah, you whenever you start working, you just don't want to have to stop. You want to be able to go and finish the project.
Thanks,
Let's
Nikki.
do our voting.
All right.
All righty. Okay, so here we go. Anything else, Michelle?
No, I'm good.
Brendan? My colleagues here?
Yeah, I didn't want to seem troublesome either. I want you to be able to do this.
No, troublesome is good, Dave.
I know,
usually ends up in a
but
good place.
development of humanity is good too. So that's
Okay. All right. Well, let me try this again. I don't think we don't have to do effective, because most effective dates or anything like that. It's just a matter of accepting, I think, accepting the plans to accept the plans as related to the stipulations. I'll probably make a couple other things, and I don't even think we don't even need an effective date on it. So I think that's where I'm headed.
shouldn't we put the effective date of the signed letter from the PE?
Well, it's already approved, so.
Yeah, it's already approved, right? So
Okay.
Let's vote.
yeah, I don't think so, Dave. So.
Okay, that's
All
good.
right. Okay, well, I said, I'll make a motion then in the matter of 45 Obtuse Rocks Road. It's activity number W-21-2, to accept a set of plans, which I will define here momentarily, which will complete the complete all the stipulations that were established for the approval. And these plans are noted on a set of plans by Artel Engineering with an original date of January 5th, 2021, with a last revision date of 8/23. It's sheet 3, sheet 6, sheet 8, and sheet 9. Making note that on sheet 3, the distance from the driveway near that wetlands flag 77 is 7 feet. That we will also receive a letter from a professional engineer that confirms that the driveway construction in that area with that stone wall will be a success, similar to the letter that we received on the earlier project. And that we will receive that within 2 weeks. We also accept the updated planting plans, the notes and details with an original date of February 24th, 2021. Yes, with a revision date of August 30th, 2021. And I think that's it.
I'll second.
All right, John seconds that. Any discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, guys, I look forward to the letter.
Thank you.
All right,
And good luck with this. I hope it turns out very well.
Thank you.
all right, let's get on to new business here. The first one I have is 20A, it's Indian Trail. Someone here for that?
Yes, my name is Cheryl Eveland. I'm the architect for Matthew Wilcock, and we are presenting for a single family residence off of Indian Trail Road.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the application here. As soon as it launches. If we were in town hall, we could just flip to it, but we don't get to do that here.
That's okay.
So I'm looking at, so we've got total acreage is, looks like is that a quarter of an acre?
Yeah, it's a
0.22
small
acres?
parcel.
All right. and
I've
we
been
have
working,
disturbed wetland area is none,
is none, that's correct.
and total ones on the property is none,
That's correct.
and disturbed linear feet of water course is none, and total linear feet of water course is none. Okay. All right, construct a 4-bedroom dwelling, 3.5 baths, outdoor terrace, finished basement, no garage, and existing dock. All right, well, that's a good start. Why don't you just show us the plan? You want to just tell us about the plan here a little bit?
Okay, well, I've been working with Ralph Gallagher on for the engineering, and so hopefully he's helped me through this a bit. I haven't worked up here in this area before, so we do have the plans, and I have my builder here who is going to post those plans, if I understand how the system works here.
So Allison, do you need somebody to get the ability to share the plans?
Yes, I think she is doing that at the
Oh.
moment.
I'm sorry,
Cassie?
can you give me the name of the person who will be sharing the plans?
It would be Cassie,
Cassie Stevenson?
correct.
Just a second. Cassie, you should be all set to share now. Okay.
Can you guys see that?
That's the site plan.
This is the site
Okay,
plan.
so you're on the other side of the road from,
Candlewood Lake, yeah. At the moment, we're about to the property line off of the lake is roughly 110 feet. I'm going off the proposed or the existing lake wall. And from there to our property line is 110. And then there's an additional 43 feet to the closest projection of the house. So total, we're 153 feet away from the lake.
you're 100, that was going to be my question. You're 100, so you're within the, it's 200 feet, I think, right? You got, so what, do you have the approximate line of disturbance on this plan?
No, do you have Ralph?
Excuse me, I said that wrong. The upland review area marked on this plan, I don't.
I do, Ralph does not show it on his plans.
Hold on, I might have it on another one.
Unless he does, let's see.
Because barring something, unusual, the only thing that where we would start is everything in the upland review area, so.
Yeah, I don't.
He does not have it noted.
That's a handy thing to have, because you said that what's 100, where do you know where the 153 foot is?
153 feet is would be the closest projection, so right there.
This corner.
Okay, you're saying that the back of the house is 153 feet from the lake?
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so the whole lot is.
We'll be entering from Indian Trail Road. We actually won't be disturbing anything for a driveway off of the Candlewood Lake Road. There is an existing septic there. And it's been there for, I guess, for quite a while. They haven't built on this property yet, so
Yeah.
this will be new dwelling and we'll be coming off, as I mentioned, off Indian Trail Road.
What's there today?
Nothing.
It's a vacant lot.
It's no trees, just grass?
There are trees, and we actually probably will be removing several of them. I believe Cassie had that drawing up before.
I can bring
Do
that.
you need to see that, or?
No, I said I'm mostly just trying to, like I said, so it looks like the entire property is in the upland review area. You're on the other side of
Candlewood Lake.
Road, so you're not, there's nothing that you're doing that's right on the lake.
Picture.
Do you know where the 440 line is? Is that?
440 line is.
That's right down by the water.
Oh, you're not, you're way above that, right?
Yes.
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 No easement from, whatever they are, First Light these days.
Yeah, it's First Light that we were going through. So the road is at 450.
Okay,
And when we go
440
up, we,
down here.
all right. All right, so you don't need anything from First Light. I don't, this, to me, this looks rather straightforward. It's all in the upland review area. So again, you do need inland wetlands approval to, proceed and get a building permit.
correct.
Whatever you gotta get from zoning.
We have to have you sign off before moving forward with
Yeah.
the building department, correct?
Yes.
That's what we were told, so.
And we're keeping all of the disturbance, like Cheryl said, up here on the Indian Trail side and not accessing anything from Candlewood Lake Road.
Okay. Again, I'm not seeing anything. You guys are probably aware of Connecticut State, the state wetlands regulations. It's 2 weeks, new business to old business.
Yes.
Correct.
That usually gives the public a chance to, weigh in on matters. I'm not seeing anything that I would ask you guys to do. To me, this looks like
Very straightforward.
very straightforward, as John said.
Great.
I do see on this plan, Sharon, you asked about trees. be removed. I'm assuming that these trees that are labeled and then with a red X through them are going to be removed.
Yes,
Yeah.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
there's 5 total. One up here.
Am I missing one?
There's one here. one
Yes,
here.
I see now near the bottom, another 20-inch
Right.
oak.
We do have some trees that we're gonna try and work some retaining walls around.
Mhm.
But I think we're gonna have, it's gonna kind of be field dependent on if we're gonna end up killing the tree or compromising it, which we don't want to do.
Is there any
100.
possibility you could, if any of these trees that you'd like to save can't be saved, they can be replaced? You could plant something in replacement?
The owner is
Sure.
going to work with the landscape architect and come up with a planting plan to plant the property. So I'm sure he's amenable to putting in a couple of trees.
Maybe
losing-
ask them, maybe one of the things we ask them to, ask them is maybe what would be, I don't know, would be your, well, anyways, let's call it the Candlewood Lake roadside yard,
Mhm.
putting up 2 native Connecticut species to replace the, what'd you say, if we get 5 going down?
Well, it's not shown here, but this area is pretty well planted right now. There's a very steep embankment down to Candlewood Lake. And there are trees right now on this property that we won't be touching that Ralph did not have shown on this survey.
Actually, I believe that was Paul Hero did that. He only showed them the larger trees.
We can certainly ask that the owner plant a couple native species.
Yeah, I would anticipate they're gonna have, again, a yard on the Candlewood Lake Road side.
Well, we do have septic there. That's the location of the septic.
Yeah.
So we are limited a little bit by what we can plant.
Right, now the septic's not on this plan, is that
I
right?
can pull the septic plan back up if you'd like.
So that's in that side. So yes, there will be a yard-ish, because obviously you could take all the trees down for that.
The septic is running right here at the edge of the house. So we can certainly plant something down here or on this side.
I'm sorry, so you said you have the septic plan on a map like this, handy?
Yeah, I can pull that up here.
It's a fairly steep property as well. We're going almost 40 feet down from the driveway to Candlewood Lake Road.
This is the septic plan here.
Yes.
Right,
So
All right, so it's probably, this is the plan that we would probably approve, Michael, maybe not that other drawing, but we might be looking at this one.
Both are part of the package that were uploaded to your website and on file with you.
Yeah, we normally would just, we might incorporate things, but we would want to probably sign one plan, so then when it was all done,
Okay.
that's the one plan that everybody says, oh, yep, this is what we want to do, and this is what we did, and so we probably would look to this, I'm thinking
This
it's
one.
better with this one.
Okay.
'Cause it does show the septic on it,
Yeah, you have the septic and then the reserve.
yeah.
And like I said, if you wanted to put a couple of trees in, we could certainly do something, as the slope comes down, but we would want to take into consideration the grade because it does drop away pretty quickly.
I do have a question based on your statement a few moments ago about the steep, that back lawn is fairly steep. However, your application says there is no part of the upland review area that's greater than 5%. You said you have not applicable. I'm assuming you mean it's more than 5% if it's steep.
yeah,
I'm looking at the second page of the application.
right, understood. Let me just double check.
Is that steep section in the lot?
Yard's gradual. It's the embankment at the side of the street.
It's at the, at the.
It's right at the
side.
edge of the street.
Is that on your lot?
It's,
Yes.
well, it
But
is, but the
no.
property line is not. So I guess would it be considered part of the Candlewood Lake Road? the property line is starts right at the top of that embankment.
Well, I'm just wondering, I think Mr. New said.
It's not on their lot where the property is very.
Okay, so what you're saying is the steepness is not this backyard area, but it's between the back of the lot and Candlewood Lake Road.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, that's,
then not an issue.
yeah. Yeah, because I don't know, Michael, I mean, was it like 30 feet or something like that between the edge of that gallery and the edge of their property line? Was that about, what would you guys guess, 30 feet?
It's 25 feet from that one corner to the back property line, and
Oh, yeah, there
then
you go, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was close with 30. 30 on the other side.
Blow it up a little bit bigger.
So there might not even be enough room to put a tree in there.
that was my concern. Yeah,
Well, again, it wasn't clear from the other, in the other one.
understood.
Where the line
Yeah.
was and the whatever, so in the steep and wasn't really clear. Here, it's, if you stare at it, I think it's more clear. Okay. So,
Yeah, the tree locations were from the land survey, Paul Hero.
yeah. It would be nice if you could, but I'm, they might be able to get one in, Michael, maybe on what would be like a northwest corner. Ish,
Northwest,
maybe.
right. Well, I mean,
Where
we
they
could
put a
certainly,
soil stockpile now.
I'm sorry?
And no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I looked at this again. Ignore my question.
Okay.
It's harder. I'm sure you guys appreciate that. It's harder when we have to do all this stuff, remotely, and we can't just all sit together and spread this stuff out on a table.
We all miss
Totally
that.
understand.
We don't miss that, that's for sure. So it just takes us a little extra long to be sure we know what you've got and what you're trying to do, so that we want to approve things that, no misunderstandings, that's what we're trying to avoid, no misunderstandings. So, I mean, I think this is, I don't have anything else. We might want to consider, like I said, you're taking out 5 trees in, Candlewood Lake, upland review area. Almost looks like you might be able to tuck something in there again on that northwest corner to make up for, I said, some of the trees that you're taking out. So that would be something, I think you might.
If you want us to plant 2 native trees, we're happy to do that. We're just gonna have to work with the landscape architect on a location for them, and
Yeah.
we can certainly work that in.
Other than that, I don't have anything. Michael, I can see you're really staring at it.
That was my only thought, and I'm still trying to understand the slope of this land, but
Well, it looks like it starts at 488. The middle of the house is 476. So that's
Yeah.
about 50 feet. They're dropping 12 feet-ish.
yeah,
And then the middle of the house, 476 down to the end of the property line is
464,
464.
464,
Yeah,
464, okay.
464, correct.
yeah. So it looks like maybe over another 40 feet, they're dropping like another 10 feet. So I don't think that qualifies as for the steep slope, but definitely what they're showing on the backside.
Yeah,
Right, 482 dropping 30 feet in what, 20 feet?
20 feet.
Yeah, sure.
no, it
No, it's a good
makes
catch.
sense now
Yeah.
that I see where these lines are.
Yeah, it's a good catch.
It's,
All right, everyone. Well, I said, John, Dave, Bob.
Looks straightforward.
All right. Well, again, so I think we'll
I'm
put this
pretty
on the
good.
agenda for next week. It'll be on the old business list. You guys are welcome to join. I can't think of anything to ask you. Again, we talked about, be prepared, maybe ask you to plant 2 native species trees here, so.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
All right, someone want to make a motion to continue?
I move to continue 20A Indian Trail Road, item number W21-28 until the next regularly scheduled meeting.
A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, motion carries unanimous. All righty, I got 58 South Lake Shore,
Thank you.
home edition. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
We have someone here from 58 South Lake Shore Drive. If so, could we get your name and address, please?
Yes, good evening, Mike Mizuko, professional engineer representing the applicant, Mark Welty.
So let's just take a look at the application just as soon as it loads here. Oh, what's this? Okay, 58 South Lake Shore. So we've got, again, another 1/4 of an acre property, no disturbed wetlands. Total wetland area in the property, disturbed linear with 0, disturbed upland review area is 1.5 acres.
0.15.
0.15, sorry, that's what I meant to say. All right, you want to tell us a little bit about this? You want to show us the plan that you're interested in having us approve?
Sure, I'll just share my screen.
All right, we got to give you approval to do that.
Yeah,
so
I
bear
see
with
that.
us.
Or just 1 second. And you are all set.
Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, this is my AutoCAD screen. It's just a little easier for me to measure things and pan and zoom. So this is a property on the west side of South Lake Shore Drive, and it's on Candlewood Lake. Pretty much the entire property is within the regulated area. We're not doing anything below the 440. There is an existing 4-bedroom dwelling, and the applicant's looking to add to the front of the house here, just a slight bump out across the front, and then furthering that for an attached garage at the first floor level. It's currently, right now, the driveway comes down, it's pretty steep to access a garage under at this point. And we're gonna eliminate,
That's a new driveway that's a new driveway proposed?
well, this is existing here already. It
Okay.
goes straight down and then turns into the house here. There's a garage under at this point. And then we're gonna eliminate that, just raise the grade slightly to make the driveway a little bit less steep. And then you'll come in here and then turn to the right to get into this attached garage, but at another level up, essentially.
Okay, I'm just a little lost. I see proposed driveway. Can you just show me the outline of the proposed drive?
So the proposed driveway outside of the existing one is here, follows this line
Okay,
to here, comes over, and then comes across, heads south, and then connects back into the driveway, the
so it's
existing
that-
driveway.
right now it's that dark black line.
Correct,
Ah, okay.
correct.
Are you gonna have to put new, leader drains here for this garage?
Yes, and we have a stormwater management system here. That's very tight site, and you're working with a 1/4 of an acre, and you've got, the existing dry wells here, so we've got to maintain 25 feet up from that with any drainage. They do have to replace the tank because currently the existing septic tanks underneath or partially underneath the deck. So they are adding a new deck. So with that, they have to move the tank out and they'll just reconnect into that. But ultimately the B100 is up in the front of the site and would require a pump chamber, which we show here. But that would be only when this system failed that they would, implement that part of it.
So tell me about the proposed detention system, the overflow. Where does that go? I see that this.
Yeah, that runs right down here. It's in a similar location where they had a yard drain here at the corner of the driveway. So we would just be dumping that here. Currently, there was a couple of pipes that ran down to the lake.
So you're dumping it to daylight or?
Yes, yeah, to daylight. And we have a couple of just small trench drains here and also here just so we could capture as much of the driveway as we could. And then as well as the roof runoff.
So tell me a little bit about, like I said, that, that drain going to daylight in terms of what you're thinking about scouring or water, the water flow there. You said you're just going to daylight it. You're not going to try any kind of some sort of a depression or any kind of riprap. You're just going to daylight the pipe.
Yeah, I mean, if we have to extend the riprap, we would have to put it down below the 440, but it's a very small system. And we're storing the water quality volume. So for smaller storm events, you're basically sort of generally up to around the 2-year storm. You're getting almost no flow out of that.
Well, we got a lot of flow last week.
No, I understand. I mean, yeah,
I mean,
everywhere.
Yeah, true. So, but I said you're sitting right on the 440 line. You said you're daylighting water without anything to slow it down.
Well, the stormwater management system, I mean, it slows it down, and yeah, I mean, I
Well,
guess
where is it starting? What's the elevation it's starting? How many feet is it dropping?
it's
452. It's dropping 10 feet, right?
yeah, our inverse 451 or almost 452. So yeah, that's
I'm a little concerned about that. I'm a little concerned about, again, that water coming out, dropping 10 feet and then just going to grass.
yeah, it's all pretty much lawn down there.
I'm a little concerned about that. I think you might want to look at, you said maybe daylighting that into either some kind of a swale or some kind of a little rain garden or something, or something else to convince me, that, again, when we have a rain event like we had last week, and as Michael says, we make no over and over and over again, we're going to be getting more rain here in the Northeast, over the decades. I'm interested in something like that.
All right, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah, take a look at that, would you?
Sure.
Those are my
Karen,
questions.
thank you for mentioning what I was going to mention.
Yeah, no, it was in the.
I mean, we basically
New
had
York
two
Times.
100-year events in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, it was in the New York Times talking about, the problems they've had all
Yeah.
over the place in the city. And like I said,
Yeah.
everybody says, yeah, we have droughts, but we should be expecting more
So-
rain.
Looking
I
at the
think
work,
part of the issue with some of the more recent rainfall events is that the antecedent conditions of the soil have been very saturated because of the amount of rain that we've gotten, pretty much throughout the summer. So that added and exacerbated the issue with a lot of the
Mhm.
flooding.
Yeah, but I think what we're trying to convey here is that we may be seeing more of that than less. So, well, anyways, that's what I would be interested in. Something, like I said, you're dropping it 10 feet, I said a swale, a rain garden, something to slow that water down so that you're not scouring taking the chance of scouring soil and dirt and having that run right into the lake.
Okay, maybe a level spreader or something across that wall
Something
or,
like that, yeah. Something.
yeah, okay.
Something you can angle, sort of angle, hold some water,
Yeah. Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'll probably have to go back out to the site and just put a better eye on it and see what might work better than something else. Anything else?
Other than that, nothing else is jumping out at me here. You got soil stockpiles, you've got silt fence up, that's the dark brown line, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Dave, John, Bob, Michael.
I'm looking at the plans. And I don't see anything else. No, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see, Mike, we're going to be here in 2 weeks. I said I would take a look at that. You can submit a new set of plans.
Okay.
We'll be here in 2 weeks. We'd love to have you. I tell everybody, even with Monday Night Football, we're better than anything on TV. So,
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, so how about a motion to continue?
I'll make a motion to continue 58 South Lake Shore Drive, item number W-21-29 to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second.
All right, thank you, John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous. All right, we'll move on. The next one I have here is 29 Merwin Brook Road. Is there someone here for that?
Sorry, me, Michelle from Artel. Sorry, I was muted.
That happens. All right, let's go take a look at that application. I think I'm getting better at this stuff, finding these things online. All right, 29 Merwin Brook Road. There we are, Artel Engineering. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we got almost 2 acres, disturbed wetland area 0. There's 20,000 square feet of wetlands on the property. No linear watercourse disturbance and 16,000 square feet of upland review area. So what is this? It's a new home, a driveway, a well, and a septic.
Yeah.
Right?
This was before you in 2018. It was approved. It had a house, a driveway, well, septic, rain garden. I'm back before you because the owner's looking to sell the property, and there's a couple that are interested in buying it, and they have increased the footprint of the house because they need a ranch style house, so it's 1-level house due to some mobility issues.
No, whatever,
So
whatever. Whatever.
yeah.
All
So
for good reasons, right?
Huh?
All for good reasons.
Yeah, it's for good reasons. So this had a conservation easement line that they have to put into place when they go to build it, to do everything. The line is the same, hasn't moved. We had some plantings along in the wetland or along the periphery of the wetlands that has remained the same. We have a rain garden that got a little tiny bigger just because the footprint of the house got bigger. The driveway was kind of, I don't know if you could see me pointing where the soil stockpile. The driveway was there. We've now shifted it to the west a little bit, kind of further away from the wetland, to come in on the top side of the road. We have a little more upland wetland disturbance, which is more near where the garage is. I think the original approval had a little over 16,000 square feet of wetland disturbance, and now we have 16,800, and it's all up in this northwestern corner of the additional disturbance. I don't know if you remember this project, Sharon.
I do.
Yeah.
No, I do. The guy cut trees.
Yeah, and he did some
worked with
felling and
Also
stuff.
got the review area, and I don't remember if there were any in the wetlands, but I sort of remember that. That's okay, but that's okay. That's why I remember this one.
Yeah.
And I know I said right behind there is it's a wetland that hasn't been disturbed. So
yes, it's a beautiful, the people that are looking to buy it, it's a beautiful property,
Yeah,
beautiful
it is.
wetlands, and like I said, so the box that Dinus actually did the box for the house, it's probably a little larger than what the actual house is going to be. He made it bigger to make sure that we fit inside that box. Some of it'll be some deck, so it's the whole box will not be house and building. They're kind of finalizing their architectural drawings, but we know what they gave us, the house fits inside that box, that's rectangle.
Do you know, Michelle, did the current owner actually get the conservation easement in place, or is that still pending?
That's still pending. That they have to do it, was part of your approval stipulations. I believe it still has to be put in place. They haven't touched the property since we got our approval in 2018. They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Actually, because I pulled the file out the other day, and I found the actual easement that has to be filed with it. because they have to put the plaques too. A part of that easement was putting the plaques along the wetland lines.
I remember that,
Yeah,
right?
typical 8, it's in this note over here. Let's see if I can zoom up a little bit. Come on. Yeah, see the conservation, we install the conservation area markers, and
Right.
I had them marked along the line of where they had to be installed.
All right, and so the rain garden takes care of all the downspout leaders?
Yes, everything goes from the roof into the rain garden. Yeah, this is the septic area. So like I said, the driveway is now further away from the wetland. It was further down here last, like on the downside of the house for the last approval. I said, most everything stayed the same. It just, I flipped the driveway and the footprint of the house just got larger, just because it's not going to be a 2-story house. It's going to be a 1-story house.
Yeah,
So it's 1 level.
yeah.
That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah. Well, again, just changing the footprint of the house and rearranging the driveway.
Yeah, so
Not seeing any big questions. You're warranting that the conservation easement is in the same place.
yeah, I overlaid it today just to make sure, and it's 100% in the same place.
Okay.
I could say that with all certainty that it is. The disturbance line, like I said, it stayed, the disturbance line here has stayed the same in this section. The only area that it got larger but pulled is up by the garage. It was up in this little area.
And I think you may have talked about this, you're saying, because now you've got a little bit more roof area. So you've got maybe a little bit more water on the roof, and the rain garden is still sized for that.
Yes, so the rain garden got a little bigger, not estimate, but not, again, still above, still within that area of disturbance that we had kind of determined at the when we did it last time. It hasn't increased my disturbance. Didn't go closer to the wetland, and went closer to the house a little bit and towards the septic a little bit.
Okay. So the changes here seem rather modest. And nothing is jumping out at me from a wetlands viewpoint. I don't remember even when we did this, if there was any sequence on that conservation easement. I mean, it might, again, the new owners or the prospective owners, might want to consider in terms of the sequence, getting that in place first.
Yeah, and that's something, I'll make sure I speak to them about and make sure that they're, they haven't bought it yet. It's all contingent on making sure everything gets done. So I'm sure that'll be something that they request them to do before maybe the purchase of it. But it's part of the approval for the last time, and we can make it contingent of this approval as well. I have no problems with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what they, again, everything is a lot harder now and everything's over the phone and whatever. I mean, to me, this almost looks like a modification.
Yeah.
I
think I did it as a modification to the permit when I filled out the application.
Yeah, that's what it says modification, right? So, I mean, so everything that we talked about with the previous approval, of which I remember some, but maybe not everything, because I got to look, will ride with this, unless for some reason we specifically took it out, which I guess we could, but I remember the conservation easement, it was the rain garden, we had talked about the trees.
Right, because he's cut down a lot of the trees, so that's what we have, a lot of the plantings.
Yeah.
That you guys required back then.
Right.
Like I said, nothing. I think I might have the other plan. I can look.
I know. I'll just go land use office. It's actually fun to go there because you actually pull the plans out, just spread them out. It's really a lot of fun.
Okay.
So we'll take a look at that. Maybe just take a look at that previous, previous approval. I don't think it had a lot in it, but I think it did have something. So I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me, Michelle, here. Again, you're mostly just changing the footprint of the building, little change to the rain garden, but you're not changing the conservation easement.
Mm-mm.
Nothing is jumping out at me.
And the septic, I think the septic stayed the same. It's really, and the footprint looks a lot bigger than like I said, than it actually is going to be, because part of the back is actually going to be like a deck. Dinah's kind of just encompassed it all so that we covered our bases so that we didn't have to come back again in case it got a little bigger.
So that's what you were saying. The deck, the house may be a little smaller and the deck will, but the footprint of the house and the deck is going to be all in there.
In that box, yeah. Yep.
Excuse me, Sharon, because I was not here for the original discussion on this, and this is the first time I've run into a conservation easement. Could you, I'm assuming, I think I see the line of the easement.
So it's this line.
Yeah, that's what I see. What was the reason that a conservation easement was asked for in this particular project when we don't do it every time?
I think the main reason is you can see everything is sitting right on those wetlands lines.
Okay.
The rain garden, the septic field, you can see, the house, the edges of the original home and not so much the driveway, but they were sitting right on those wetlands lines. So with the conservation easement and the markers, we can convey to the owners, there's no mowing past that. There's no taking trees down, because this one, as I remember, is in favor of the town.
Does an easement like this make the preservation of the wetlands permanent?
Yes.
It makes it, yeah, yes, permanent with a small p.
Okay.
The responsibility of the town of Brookfield.
Gotcha.
Town of Brookfield is, as I said, has the, I'll make sure I say this correctly here. They, again, you as the property owner say you're not going to do anything on the other side of that conservation easement, without, I think it's without, the agreement of the town.
Yeah, it says here it has to stay, the aesthetic, scenic, and ecological value has to stay in its present state as a natural area which has not been subject to development.
Right. I think the only thing, thinking, because I've done a conservation easement, after that, we might make, we might encourage maybe, or might make one little change there. There are invasive species wandering around there, particularly barberry.
Mm-hmm.
We might think about with that conservation easement, maybe, giving the property owner the right to remove some invasive species in there without having to call the town of Brookfield.
Okay.
Like things like hand removal of barberry or hand removal of, floribunda rose, that kind of thing.
I would believe there's poison ivy in there as well.
Actually, so Sharon, I have it in front of me.
Yeah.
And one of the things, the property owner should have the right to remove by hand invasive species from within the protected property conservation area.
And I did remember. We did think about that. Okay, well, thanks, Michelle. Again,
You're
we'll
welcome.
give you another lifeline for that.
I'm glad I grabbed it before I left today.
Yeah, because that's something I think a lot of people want to take care of. They don't want to have the ticks that come with.
Yeah, it has 10 very strict kind of stipulations as the conservation is, no dumping of ash, trash, garbage, no hunting or trapping, no construction, improvement or upgrading of roads, no activities or uses detrimental to drainage, no filling, excavating, dredging, no, I said that one, no operation of vehicles, snowmobiles, dune buggies, motorcycles, all terrain vehicles, no removal, destruction, or cutting of trees. It's pretty extensive, the easement.
Okay, well, good. Because that's one I said, I've been involved in them, and I said, we want to make sure if they want to get the bad stuff out of there, they can. So. All right, I'm not seeing anything. I said, Michelle, I personally commit to go take a look at the old one, but I'm not, this is all sort of lining up. I am not seeing any problems with this. So I don't know if anybody else wants to weigh in.
Does this need another 2 weeks or because are we gonna do this as a modification?
Well, it's a modification, so you're right, we don't have to wait the 2 weeks. I suppose, right? I mean, I suppose. I mean, Michelle's telling us that the conservation easement's the same.
Yeah.
And it looks like, I think it was pretty much on the wetlands flags line. This thing was flagged, what, probably 4 years ago, I think.
Well, the flags are actually, so Sharon, the flags
Yeah,
are further in.
They're further in, yeah, that's right, they're further in, yeah, there we go.
So
Yeah.
we pulled the conservation easement a little back. And like I said, we did some plantings and stuff in here.
Yeah, and that gives us a nice buffer, Michael,
I see that.
development and the wetlands, so, because it
Yeah.
was all very treed, it was a big tree lot there, there were a lot of really
Mhm.
nice trees that came down without approval.
Correct. And he did a little filling, so we had
He did.
the fill tested. We did a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
we did a lot on that one. No, that's
Mhm.
right, because there was that funny fill, I remember
Yeah, it was like a gray fill or something. We had it tested to confirm that it was okay.
So I think I don't know, I guess you're right, Michael, we could probably approve this for them tonight, right?
I would think so. I mean, I wasn't here for the original discussion, but from the looks of it, it was quite strong provisions as to protect the wetlands, and looks like you did a lot of work on this.
Yeah, so maybe it's a matter of, approving the modification, which is the change to the footprint of the house, the change of the driveway, and the change to the rain garden, and that's it, right, Michelle?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we moved the driveway, the footprint got bigger.
Yep.
The rain garden got a little bigger. That's really it.
All right. And let's see, do we have the, what's the plan here, Michelle, that you're showing us? I'm looking on the list, trying to see which plan it is we're going to approve.
It's a septic plan.
The septic plan.
Yeah, there was a plan and a septic plan and septic detail sheet,
Okay. So
which has the drainage, has everything kind of on it.
all right, well, I'll take a stab at it, Michael. Okay, so I make a motion, the matter of 29 Merwin Brook Road. It's the original, well, for the current modification application, which is W-21-30, making a modification to the original plan, all the original stipulations and responsibilities remain, because this plan simply changes the footprint of the house, realigns where the driveway is located, and increases the rain garden to accommodate the change footprint, that we approve. We approve this modification as described on a set of plans called the septic plan it's by you guys, right, Artel?
Yeah. Mhm.
By Artel, dated August 23rd, 2021.
Yes.
Modification, right?
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember on a modification. I guess that I don't even think we have to. I don't think that has a to be effective date on it. I'm trying to remember. Does anybody remember? I can't remember on a modification if there's an effective date for some reason. Well, I don't think that's necessary, so we'll just say we'll approve it without an effective date. Well, but to be effective tomorrow.
Okay.
Did I get everything?
I think you did. I made notes and checked them off, so that was good.
Okay.
I'll second it as you.
All right, thanks,
Okay.
Michael. Any other discussion on the motion to approve this modification? All right, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, motion carries unanimous. All right, now on to.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
On to 100 Pocono Road. It's emergency repair of a head wall. Is there someone here for that? Anybody here for 100 Pocono Road?
I don't see
I
anyone
believe it's
here
the-
other than the commissioners and Michelle.
I'm sorry, there was some noise there, this is a town application.
Yes,
Ah, I thought the property's address sounded familiar.
yeah.
All right, so the total acreage is 2,500 square feet. The turbine is 2,500 feet. Is Ralph here with us, or are we by ourselves tonight?
I don't see anyone present other than the commissioners and Michelle.
All right, thanks, Allison. Maybe that's what we were trying to say, and I was talking at the same time. So what do we have here?
If you look at the picture, it appears that a significant portion of the road has collapsed into the brook,
Ay, ay, ay,
and hopefully nobody went with it.
yikes. Holy smokes.
Mhm.
I thought I saw this. I drove by and what the heck is that? Holy moly. And so how are they got a construction sequence and how they're gonna fix it, right?
Mhm.
Let's take a look at that. What are they
It
gonna do?
appears to make sense.
Oh, there's the construction sequence. Move the blockhead wall, remove the limestone, cream all the way. There's not much left. Install oh dear. Install precast concrete blocks. I will not say the other word. To replace the collapsed head wall. No plans to enter, dig, or disturb the stream in any way for this phase of work. All right. I would think we would want to approve this one, gentlemen.
I think we should do it fairly quickly.
I think we should too.
Could I
think of, again, they've already said the most important thing to me. It sounds like they're doing everything from the roadside.
mhm.
That is quite a picture. Oh yeah, yeah. Wonder if they're gonna, does it say there's rocks in the stream now? Are they gonna take those out, Michael? What does it say?
Doesn't say, but you're right. I don't know if those are from what's fallen down here or just something that's always been there.
Well, I think we can approve it, and I think we can ask them, is the plan to remove what's in the stream? And I don't even know if that's a good idea. Well, I mean, if they're gonna have something big there, maybe they could get that out. So maybe we could approve it, and then ask them about that.
Well, would we put a question in the approval? Not sure how that would work.
Oh, no, I just think we could just, ask.
Oh, okay.
Just maybe ask the land use office to follow up with, follow up with them and ask them if they're planning to take that stuff out. I don't know. I mean,
Does anyone know the address of this location? Because it's not Pocono Road.
no, it's not.
It doesn't seem to say.
Is there a GIS map with this?
Oh, there it is. There's a map. Okay, I see it.
So, okay, so it's on West Wisconsin Road.
Well, I can try a motion, make a motion to approve application W-21-31 for the emergency repair of a head wall and a section of road on West Wisconsin Road, just to the west, I believe, of Edna Court, to the approval to be effective immediately.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Um,
And I think
Hold on a second,
Allison, I
Al.
said emergency repair, and
Yeah,
that's,
emergency
the
repair,
word
right,
needs to be there.
right. Someone want a second Michael's motion?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dave. No.
And maybe I could add, as located on a GIS map dated 9/9/21.
Sure, no harm in that. Yeah, and I think when we're done, I mean, I'll call the motion here in a second, I think, and then we can ask, we'll ask the land use office and for the other ask that we had of them for the the monitoring, to check with Ralph and see if they are planning to take that, those 2 slabs out of there. So, okay, any more discussion on the Michael's motion to approve this emergency repair on West Wisconsin Road? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, motion carries unanimous. So,
But Sharon, they pretty clearly in this letter or construction sequence say at the beginning that they have no plans to enter, dig, or disturb the stream and planning on working from the roadside and on top. If
yeah,
they're gonna remove anything, they would just bring in a crane and pull it out.
well, that's what I'm wondering. It
Yeah.
doesn't say, I don't see anything that says.
But they're saying they're not gonna do that, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think in general, it would be good to get it out of there. If they've got the equipment there, can they do that? Can they just, I don't know, lasso it and haul it up?
Mhm. Well,
And I think that's just really the question. I think it's out. I think we can do it out. I think we can do it outside of the motion. I think it's just a matter of, I think it would be
Sure.
better to get it out, but I don't think it has to come out, in this emergency repair.
was it something you would question directly yourself or ask
No. I
Alice to
think
do it
we'll
when
just
she comes
ask
back?
Alice. We'll just ask Alice to reach out
Okay.
to Ralph and say, hey, we did happen to notice that there's at least 2 big slabs of concrete and, can you take those out, easily, at the same time. So we'll just ask them to do that.
Okay.
But I don't think it has to be part of the motion. I think we're all right with that. Is that, everybody all right with that?
I'm comfortable.
Yep.
All right, well, that takes care of that. Again, we called it 100 Pocono, but it was really West Wisconsin. So now we've got this other item here in these after the fact documents. So let me just, to do this correctly, gentlemen, we need to put it on the agenda to talk about it. So this apparently has something to do with some proposed septic replacement. I know no more about it than that. So let me just ask everybody to, I'll just make a motion. It has to be unanimous to add it to the agenda. So I'll make a motion to add to the new business. It's 77 Obtuse Hill Road. It's activity number W-21-32, proposed septic replacement.
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor of adding that item to the agenda as new business E, signify with an aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, so the motion is unanimous, so we can add it. So let me ask, is there anybody here in this
It's
meeting?
me,
Oh,
Michelle.
Oh, my goodness.
oh,
You got me from start to finish tonight.
we're good. All right, I don't know here's all I know. This came in late Thursday afternoon. There's some plan here dated June 4th, 2021. I don't know anything more about this, Michelle. Can you tell us what's going on with the septic? Is it working? Are people living there? Is it failing? What is going on with this?
So there is, this is 77 Obtuse Hill Road. There is an existing main house. There's an existing apartment in the back. Both have septics. There is a pond in the front off of Obtuse Hill Road is in the front here. And you come up the paved driveway and there's a driveway that swoops underneath the existing septic and house that goes to the rear of the property. And then there's another driveway that swoops up and goes to the main house. The existing septic is this pixel, dotted area,
Uh-huh.
and it's currently failing. So we are proposing a replacement septic for the failing septic. So we are 170 feet from the pond, and we're 65 feet from the wetland, the fringes of the wetland from the pond. We're also replacing the septic in the back as well, but that's outside of the limits of the upland review area. And it's just a little piece that's in the upland review area.
So you're having to change the grade here? There, I see some galleries and some sort of hatch lines around that.
Well, that's when you put a septic in, you put sand around it,
Yeah.
in the fill. So the system is the Elgin Mantis system
Yeah.
is the slatted lines, and then the sand is around it. And we're filling a little bit because we hit some ledge, I believe, a little ledge and some groundwater. So we have to fill to put the system in. It's about 2 feet of fill, 2.5 feet of fill. But it goes back to grade pretty quickly. The driveway is kind of like a cutoff, so in between the wetland and the septic area.
So do you have to dig the existing stuff out?
I believe it gets abandoned in place. I said there's a note here, the existing septic is crushed and abandoned, and the septic system is to be abandoned in a manner acceptable to the health department. So usually you just abandon it in place. You remove all the connections and everything from it. And the new connections go from, the house to the new septic tank to the new system.
Okay, so you're not bringing in big excavators that have soil stockpiles to take that stuff out?
No.
You have to have soil stockpiles to do the sand fill? How does it work?
We don't have one on here. I don't, because it's so minor. But if we had to put one, it would probably be closer to the driveway. So we'll be outside of the upland review area.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
Michelle, I'm just a little curious, and unless I'm misreading this, the upland review area line seems to go right through the center of the pond. Am I missing something?
Oh, I'm sorry. When he did it, he should have. It's incorrect on the bottom side of the.
Okay, yeah.
It should have been from the edge of the pond out, and it was.
Yeah, he did it just from the main one.
Frantic to get it into you guys on Thursday,
but that doesn't seem to affect what you're asking this for.
No,
so
I apologize.
I withdraw my silly question.
No. It's good to talk about it, because it was like, what is that? Because that fooled me too. I'm going, what's this big dark line here that's going all over the middle of the pond? That's not an upper review area line.
It was because it was kind of something Diana's kind of threw at me at 10 o'clock, and it was a big push to get it up to you guys for today's meeting, because because the septic is failing, so they want to get moving on the replacement as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, that's why the original plan is dated June.
Yeah, but I think we were doing some other work on it, so I think it was.
Just so you know, we read these things most.
You do? I'm glad to hear.
Time we read them. Yeah, so it was an emergency in June, and it's still an emergency in September. All right. Well, again, it is our habit for all septic plans here, whether they are failing or not, to try and deal with them, in this meeting. We try and treat everybody the same. We don't want to make the people who are fixing a septic system that's under, it's still working, and they're trying to get ahead of it, from the ones that have a different situation. So
Sharon, I just noticed something else, or actually I saw it earlier and I forgot to ask about it. There's a note here that it's an existing 3-bedroom to a proposed 4-bedroom. Is that something earlier, Michelle? Is that part of this application? And if
It
so, is
will-
it just within the footprint of the existing house or just turning a room from storage to bedroom?
I think they're just doing some reconfiguration inside the house. And since the septic is failing, they would like to, it's actually the septics nowadays from the septics that you put in a long time ago are much smaller, more compact.
Mhm.
That's why it's much smaller than the box that's there. So they just would like to be prepared, and have it expanded to the 4-bedroom. So if they do any renovations on the house, it's there, it's done already. They have to repair the septic because it's failing. So they want to upgrade it to a 4-bedroom at the same time. That's all.
Okay. But there's nothing changing in the house that we need to look at or,
Not at this
well,
time.
actually, it wouldn't
And I
matter
think
because
it's all
it's out of
outside
it's out of our area.
Yeah, I think it's outside of the upland review area
It is.
anyway.
Okay.
And that's the
But
date.
if you're gonna fix it, you might as well fix it so it meets any future needs, so we don't have to come back again to redo it, for a third time.
Right, and that's the date on the plan, right? June 4th, 20.
Yes, I did notice that when I submitted it on Thursday, and I just left it.
All right. I can't, I said, it's what it's, as you say, it's a very modest disturbance at upland review area. They're not taking down, it doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't look like they're taking down any trees. Looks like it's outside this little squiggly tree line here.
Yeah. It's in the lawn area mostly now.
I can't think of anything else to ask them. I would, at this moment, I would support approving this.
Let me make a motion, then we can discuss it, like in the matter of 77 Obtuse Hill Road, item number W-21-32 for a replacement septic system to be approved with all the usual stipulations to be effective tomorrow.
Based on a map.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, based on a drawing by Artel Engineering dated June 4th, 2020.
Yeah, I think we actually on this one have to make it effective the first date after publication. I think we have to
Okay,
do that on this.
then I'll
one.
change my motion to first date after application.
So, do I have a second for that?
Second,
Second.
Is that John? Thank you, John. John seconds. Discussion on this motion? All right. All right, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right. All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Yep, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you
Have a
for.
great night, everyone.
All right.
See you next week.
All right, so just double checking here. We went through all the old business, the new business. We added the new thing. I said, gentlemen, it's late. Here, I mean, all I really see that we have to do are the minutes, right? That's the only thing we have to do. Or we don't even have to do them. We could do them later. So let's just take a quick look at the minutes. I took a look at them. I was satisfied with them. Anybody
find me.
note anything you want?
No, I thought they were fine. I didn't see
I agree.
anything wrong.
All right. Someone make a motion then to approve those minutes, please?
So moved.
All right.
I'll
so-
second.
All right, Dave made the motion, Michael seconded. All those in favor of approving August 23rd,
Sorry.
the August 23rd, 2021 minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I think everybody was here, right? Okay, so no abstentions. All right, so motion for the minutes carries unanimous. Like I said, gentlemen, it's late. I've still got the riparian buffers, but I think we can push that off. So unless someone would object, or you've got something that you really want to talk about, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
All right, so I made the motion to adjourn. Michael seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, everybody. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.